Good afternoon. Welcome to Across the Goal Line, a sports podcast brought to you by diehard fans. This is the wrestling episode, wrestling portion of our weekly episode. You can be sure to go check out episode 48 of Across the Goal Line over here on my Facebook page. Also on our YouTube page, which you can also subscribe to. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ATGL16. Today on Across the Goal Line, we talked about some NASCAR, NHL trade deadline, and the NFL Combine that happened this past weekend. So we reviewed a lot of stuff that happened. Within the past week. Corey is unable to join us today. He'll be back next week, hopefully. He had some stuff going on, so that's why I did the whole episode by myself of episode 48, and I'm doing the whole episode today for reviewing WWE Fastlane, which was this past Sunday from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which was on the WWE Network, and it was the last pay-per-view leading up to Wrestlemania. So now officially we're on the road to Wrestlemania. 25 days away, I believe it is. We had Raw and SmackDown on Monday night and Tuesday night, respectively, two nights ago and one night ago, recording on a Wednesday, March 8th, 2017 today. Video will be uploaded here to YouTube momentarily after I am done recording. But before I do, move on with reviewing WWE Fastlane. As I said, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and follow Corey on Twitter as well. The links are on our Twitter page. It's actually at CoolhandLuke96 for me and at CAMains14 for Corey. So be sure to follow both of us on there. Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram as well. Alongside ATGL16. My Instagram is LGoddessart96. Subscribe on YouTube, as I said. Email us any questions or concerns at across the goal line. No, at gmail.com, excuse me. Getting a little caught up there in myself. You can also buy our merchandise, including this hat. Also have shirts available. So be sure to get a hold of us for that. Question of the day, if I didn't say it already, in this episode, I know I did in the other video. Lehigh goes to Bucknell Patriot League championship game for college basketball leading up to March Madness, which we'll have more on next week because Selection Sunday is this upcoming Sunday. So the winner of this game will go to the big dance. Hopefully it's Bucknell. They're a little bit closer, so that's who I'm rooting for tonight. They're a little bit closer to us than what Lehigh is, so I'm going with Bucknell. So we talked NASCAR in the episode, on the other video, NHL trade deadline, and the NFL Combine. So be sure to go check that out. And then without further ado, question of the week, talking about March Madness. Who do you think is going to be the 4 number 1 seeds on Sunday, on Selection Sunday? So without further ado, I'll get now into WWE Fastlane, which was this past Sunday on the WWE Network, which you can get for only $9.99 a month. I have it. I've had it for close to 2 years now. It's a really fun thing to have. They have a lot of stuff on there other than live pay-per-views. If you want to go back and watch old content from the WWE or ECW or WCW or wherever or whenever you want to watch it, it's there for you. It's only $9.99 a month. It's a great investment if you haven't done so already. So Fastlane. We had one pre-show match. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa battled the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar with Alicia Fox by his side. And Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa defeated the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. These guys are cruiserweight competitors. A little thing about the cruiserweights now. Austin Aries is back. He's done in NXT. He's up on the main roster finally. The greatest man that ever lived. Finally came to WWE after being on the independent scene and being with TNA for the longest time. Should have been in WWE a damn long time ago, along with AJ Styles and all those other guys WWE's just been signing lately. Hell, they might as well just buy TNA, or hell, just, TNA is probably going to go out of business here by the end of the year, I think. So maybe WWE buys all the episodes of TNA Impact Wrestling to put on the network. You have all that content there for the library then, but we'll have to see about that. So Austin Aries doesn't have anything to do with this, but it's with the cruiserweights. He's finally back after he was out with an injury to the eye back there around Christmas time. He's going to be challenging Neville, it seems like now, at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando on April 2nd, 25 days away, as I said. But with this Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa, Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar thing, I don't really know where it's going. I could care less where it's going, to be honest with you. Moving on now, Samoa Joe defeated Sami Zayn. It was a match that kicked off the night. It was a great match, probably one of the best matches of the night, other than the other cruiserweight match between Neville and Jack Gallagher. I'll just get into that now then, because as I said just a second ago, Neville is still the champion. He'll be more than likely going up against Austin Aries at WrestleMania 33. And Corey said something to me last week, so don't quote me on this. I'm not taking it from Corey. I'm just saying what he said. You know how they have the ladder match at WrestleMania. It seems like every year. Maybe they have that for the cruiserweights this year. So maybe they put Aries, Neville, Gallagher, Swann, Tozawa, the Brian Kendrick, and Noam Dar in that. So a 7-man ladder match for the cruiserweight championship. Probably be one hell of a match. Corey brought that up last week. It's a good idea. Because they do normally have a ladder match at WrestleMania, to get the fans real hyped up about it. And with the cruiserweights, it seems like now they're allowing them to do a lot of their stuff than from what they were capable of doing on the independent scene. But with WWE, sometimes they're a little harsh on some things, on allowing people to do their moves, because a lot of people were thinking, well, when they brought AJ Styles in, were they going to let him use the Styles Clash because he broke one guy's neck back in Japan when he was there? So, and obviously they have. So maybe they do a ladder match at WrestleMania for the cruiserweights. Neville beat Gallagher. I'll just say that now. Samoa Joe, as I said, he defeated Sami Zayn. Kicked off the night. It was a great match. Other than the cruiserweight, that's how I got to this. If you haven't been listening, or if you have your volume turned down, or you don't want to see my face, or whatever the hell your reason is. But Samoa Joe defeated Zayn. These guys go way back. Both these guys were in Ring of Honor together, I believe. And if not, Joe had left right before Sami Zayn had got there with Kevin Owens. And then so all these guys know each other. They know they have good chemistry because they've worked together before, and that's what leads to these great matches. So Joe defeated Zayn. I don't know what they're going to do with these two guys, leading into WrestleMania. We got a little less than 4 weeks away. I'm sure WWE has something in mind. They just haven't said it yet. So we'll have to see. Hopefully it's something good. I wouldn't be mad if these two guys went at it again in a singles match at WrestleMania. But what they'll probably end up doing is probably put these two in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, who actually got his first competitor last night on SmackDown Live, and Mojo Rawley. He could be a favorite to win it since he's by himself now, with Zack Ryder being out with an injury again. So we'll have to see about that. But I wouldn't mind seeing Zayn and Joe go at it one more time come Mania. Tag team championships were on the line. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. A lot of people might know them from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which you can catch on Access TV on Friday nights. And it's also on, we actually got a final in the ACC tournament. Miami just defeated Syracuse by a score of 62-57. So it seems like Syracuse is on the bubble right now. They might not make the tournament. More than likely not now, with a first-round loss in the ACC tournament. So Jim Boeheim, he might have coached the last game. We also had some more breaking news from the time I went off the air from recording the first part of our episode after I talked about NASCAR, the NHL, and the NFL Combine. Tony Romo will be released by the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow, and they're going to move on with Dak Prescott as their franchise quarterback and Ezekiel Elliott as their franchise running back for years to come. So I think Dallas Cowboys fans can celebrate. They're getting rid of Romo. He can go join somebody else. A lot of people were saying maybe the Denver Broncos, maybe the Buffalo Bills, but the Bills are saying they just said they're keeping Tyrod Taylor. So we'll have to see about that. Maybe the Jets. I mean, they got a quarterback in Christian Hackenberg. Why don't you give the kid a shot? They also have Bryce Petty. Let's see where else Romo could go. You go to San Francisco with new head coach Kyle Shanahan because they don't have a quarterback at the moment. They need a quarterback really bad. Bring in somebody like Romo with that veteran experience. You also draft somebody high or in the middle rounds that you think could be a franchise quarterback after Romo retires. Romo probably only has a couple years left. And then you got things to work with for the next 6 years because that's what Shanahan and John Lynch's contracts are for the San Francisco 49ers. So you got 6 years to try to figure shit out. Hopefully they can, because it's sad to see, a team like the San Francisco 49ers who have won 5 Super Bowls be this bad at the moment. So I'd really like to see the 49ers get back to where they were back in the 1980s and 90s with Joe Montana and Steve Young. And then just a couple years ago when Jim Harbaugh led the 49ers with Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl against his brother John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens and Joe Flacco. So I wouldn't mind. I think Romo's either going to go to Denver or San Francisco, to be honest with you. He could go to Arizona as well, but they also already have a quarterback in Carson Palmer who is up there in age. My dog has joined me again. Well, I don't know if he's going to get into the picture or not, but anyways, as I said, the tag team championships were on the line. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson defended against Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, Big Cass. And they defeated Enzo and Cass. And now next week on Raw, you're going to have a number 1 contenders match for the tag team championships. You're going to have Enzo and Cass go up against Sheamus and Cesaro. And the winner of that match will go on to face Gallows and Anderson at WrestleMania. But more than likely, this is going to turn into a fatal 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania, because you have other tag teams on Monday Night Raw that need a spot at WrestleMania, because that's what WWE always talks about. Everybody needs to be on the card, but then also come leading into WrestleMania the day before, the day of, one match gets cut. We've seen it before, especially with the Divas matches. But now with Divas Revolution, we're more than likely probably gonna have 2 or maybe even 3 Divas matches come WrestleMania. 1 or 2 of them is probably going to be on the pre-show, and then you'll have one on the main card, but we'll have to see come WrestleMania. So yeah, Gallows and Anderson defeated Enzo and Cass, and we'll have to see who wins that number 1 contenders match next week on Monday Night Raw. So be sure to tune into that. Sasha Banks and Nia Jax had another singles match. They had a singles match at the Royal Rumble, and Nia Jax won. Nia Jax was supposedly supposed to win this past Sunday at Fastlane again, but it got changed at the last minute, so Sasha went over. Right now, we got a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, but more than likely it's probably going to turn into a fatal 4-way. And you're going to add Nia Jax to that match. So you're going to have a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Women's Championship, excuse me. And then WWE added 2 matches to the main card while the show was going on, because Rusev and Jinder Mahal had a backstage argument before the show started, and then they showed it halfway through the show, and they're not a tag team anymore. So they needed to find singles action. So Mick Foley put him up against Cesaro and the Big Show. Cesaro defeated Jinder Mahal, and the Big Show actually absolutely destroyed Rusev. Actually, now handsome Rusev. If you saw him on Sunday, he has a new haircut. He actually wasn't on Raw, surprisingly. He probably wrestled before Raw started in one of the dark matches, or even after for WWE Main Event, which you can catch on Hulu. And that's on the WWE Network as well. Then, as I already talked about, Neville and Jack Gallagher went toe to toe. Neville defeated him, getting into a feud now with Austin Aries. Roman Reigns, we've got 3 more matches left. Roman Reigns defeated Braun Strowman. This could have been the match of the night, I think, if the Samoa Joe Zayn match wasn't on the card. A lot of risky moves happened during this match, including Braun Strowman jumping off the top of the rope and missing the frog splash. And then a lot of people were thinking, well, the Undertaker was going to show up and beat up Roman Reigns, but that didn't happen until Monday Night Raw. At the end of Monday Night Raw, if you watched Raw, Chase Wise. Yes, but I have more behind them. So all the PS4 ones though are right here. All the 360 ones are right there, and then there's some behind. And then I got a lot of PS3 behind my head, and then a lot of PS2 way back. Yeah, I got a lot of games. I get them cheap though. I get them real cheap, and it's built on for years. So that's where I have them all stacked at, and then I have a list of them all typed up, so I know what ones I have and what ones I don't have. I believe I've beat you in Madden there before, but I think you beat me there too, so I think we're even. But Roman Reigns, as I said, he defeated Strowman. Let me take another drink of water. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. I've actually been playing Madden a lot lately. Been playing, doing the franchise as my player. Been winning a couple Super Bowls too. So, anyways, let's get back to WWE Fastlane before I forget anything about it. Because it was this past Sunday. Sometimes I have short-term memory loss on some things if I really don't care about it. And Fastlane, it really wasn't that great of a show, so I really didn't care about it. But Reigns defeated Strowman. Undertaker came out on Raw at the end of Raw because Strowman called out Reigns, but then the Undertaker showed up and then motioned for Strowman to leave, and he did leave, and then Reigns came out and the Undertaker chokeslammed him. So now we're going to have Reigns and Undertaker at WrestleMania. Corey actually said it a while ago too, that they should have Reigns and Taker and then have Reigns go over and have the Undertaker retire, and then at the same time Reigns would even get more heel heat and whatnot. So, and then be one of the top heels in the company. And it's actually a good idea. And now, will they have him go over? I don't know. WWE, I don't think they would. I think Undertaker would have one more match left in him next year at WrestleMania 34, because there's a lot more stuff they can do with the Undertaker with some of these young guys. Say put over Baron Corbin a lot, like the Undertaker. He's like that badass that doesn't really care what he does when he does it. So Reigns defeated Strowman. Bayley and Charlotte. Bayley retained. I'm wearing her shirt again because I didn't show it off last week because I was wearing my one windbreaker there, the Pittsburgh Penguins, because they beat the Flyers the Saturday before, and I had to rub it in Corey's face because he's a Flyers fan. But Bayley, and yes, I did wash the shirt if anybody's wondering. Bayley defeated Charlotte. I really didn't care about this match because I really don't care about Charlotte. I like Bayley, but with Charlotte losing, her pay-per-view streak is now officially over. So, and as I said earlier, with the Sasha Banks Nia Jax stuff, we're probably gonna have a Fatal 4 at WrestleMania, and that's probably gonna be the one women's match that's gonna be on the main card. We're probably gonna have tag team match on the pre-show along with the SmackDown Women's Championship. So the thing with the brand split, they have to make room for, if they have two women's titles, they got to make room for all of them. So, and then last but not least, we had Goldberg win his first championship in WWE in over 10 years. Against Kevin Owens. what happened was Goldberg came out. Owens then came out. And the match didn't start there for a while. So they did add some time to the match, even though it officially didn't start until out of nowhere, Chris Jericho came out. Music hit, Break the Walls down, and then right before that, Owens said ring the bell. So they rang the bell, and then Goldberg hit Owens with a spear, a jackhammer. 1, 2, 3, Goldberg's your new Universal Champion. Reason why they had Goldberg defeat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in a minute 20 or a minute 30, and now the reason why they had Goldberg defeat Kevin Owens at WWE Fastlane in 20 seconds is because Goldberg can't wrestle, folks. He's 50 years old. He's actually the second oldest WWE champion ever, second behind Vince McMahon, who won a championship at age 54. But the reason why they've had him win 2 matches in the WWE in less than 2 minutes is because Goldberg cannot wrestle. It's just facts. And I wouldn't be surprised come WrestleMania now, because we already had the Brock Lesnar Goldberg match set up. That match is obviously now for the Universal Championship, as I called it a while ago. I also called the Jericho Owens match, which obviously now they'll have a match because Owens got screwed by Chris Jericho, losing his Universal Championship. So be sure to go check those videos out from the past. I know I've said it, and I know Corey said some great stuff as well. And as I said, he's unable to join us today. He had some stuff going on. I said it about 20,000 times in the other video, but Goldberg, the reason why they've had him win 2 matches in under 2 minutes, I mean, he was also in the Royal Rumble matches and that for a little bit, but that's a Royal Rumble match. That's on a one-on-one singles match for a championship, or just a regular singles match. The reason why they had him win two matches in under 2 minutes is because, simply, folks, he cannot wrestle anymore. He's too old. They don't want him to get hurt. He actually was hurt at Survivor Series. That's why they had that match go so short. But you think they'd have something different now at Fastlane. But I was getting to, I wouldn't be surprised if the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match now at WWE Wrestlemania on April 2nd down in Orlando at Camping World Stadium is going to be a lot like the match at WrestleMania 20 from Madison Square Garden, which was absolutely a shit show. Shit show, if I can talk. So, more than likely it will, I think. I don't know what Corey thinks on all this. I don't even know if he watched WWE Fastlane. Because we get together one time a week, we do the show, and that's when we, talk about all the stuff that's happened within the past week when we review stuff or preview stuff. So we're not going to have any more WWE content until previewing WrestleMania, which is going to be at the end of March, and then the week after that we'll review WWE WrestleMania. And as I said, if you don't have the WWE Network, go get it. Go subscribe to it. It's only $9.99 a month. It's a great investment. And hopefully, leading up to WrestleMania, it's fun as it always is. It's always the funnest time in the year for WWE for me, just because you get stuff you don't see the rest of the year. So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. There's not much more to talk about. You be sure to go check out the other video from earlier today, as I talked about NASCAR at Atlanta, preview in Vegas, the NHL trade deadline, and now the NFL Combine that just got over this past Monday. That was this past weekend. Be sure to like us on Facebook at Across the Goal Line. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ATGL16. Follow me on Twitter at ColeandLuke96. Follow Corey on Twitter at CMains14. Follow me on Instagram at ElGaudasart96. Corey does not have an Instagram. All those links are floating around there somewhere, as Corey likes to say. Subscribe on YouTube. Email us any questions or concerns at acrossthegoalline2016 at gmail.com. And then question of the day, Lehigh Bucknow. Question of the week, who do you think is going to be the top 4 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament, which will be starting next Thursday, and we'll have more on that next week. And hopefully everybody has a great day. It's a little windy here in central Pennsylvania, but it is also sunny. My birthday is Saturday, so if I'm swigging some beers back next week, you'll know why. See you next week.